Hey guys, Zessler Magic here, and I have some insanely breaking news. It's not really news, it's more of just a mystery, and I think you guys are going to be as into this as I am. Here's how into it I am right now. I stopped eating my rice to start recording this. I just about spit out my rice when I read this. It's some really good rice too. I came up with a pretty good recipe this time around. But no, I am letting my rice sit there and cool off to an uncomfortably cold level. In fact, I'm literally talking over it and like blowing on it and actively cooling it off in the process of making this video. But that's how excited I am about this. Now you're going to say I'm reading way too much into this because I am, but it's one of those things where it's like you can't discount it as, okay, maybe it means nothing. It clearly means something, but I could be blowing this way the hell out of proportion. I don't think I am, though. I'm just going to leave it up to you guys because I don't even have a theory about this. I'm completely at a loss. That's a little weird for me because solving puzzles and riddles and putting logic and evidence together is kind of my thing, like to an unnatural level. Anyway, if you're not familiar, Mark Rosewater, the creator of Magic, and I honestly don't know his current position at Wizards. I'll say leader, the leader of Wizards. That's actually not true. It would only be the MTG branch. Whatever, who cares? You guys know who Mark frickin' Rosewater is. He holds a blog over on Tumblr.com. Most of you probably aren't familiar because who the hell goes to Tumblr who isn't a demented, just mental patient? So I put on my SPF 9001 anti-SJW feminist radiation sunblock and went over to Tumblr.com, tried not to throw up in my mouth while typing that, and went to his blog. And most of it is him answering questions from customers or users or random people or just whatever. So I read it occasionally, and I stumbled across this really weird question. Now, here's the thing. This one had a bigger response from the users by about a factor of like 6. So, yeah, people saw this. I'm surprised nobody's like making a big deal about this yet, but they should be. So the question was from Saint Miscellaneous, which is like the coolest name ever, except it would be cooler if he had the word llama in there somewhere. Anyway, will next Monday's article solve the mystery of those extra 15 cards that have appeared on HOU's product description page? Now, here's the thing. I went to HOU's product description page, the one that literally has a header that says product information. It's magic.wizards.com/en/product/hour of devastation/products. I mean, that's got to be the product description page. 184 it says. It always has said that. It always will, I guess. That doesn't make sense. Hopefully they fix it, actually. Completely the opposite. But trust me, when they announced it like last year, it had 184 cards in it. That is the typical amount. Now, if I go to the Gamepedia wiki page about Hour of Devastation, it says set size 199 though. So I assume somewhere it said 199 and it was like changed and somebody noticed. So what do? You ask Mark Rosewater about it. So his reply was interesting. He wrote, I believe those are just basic lands. Okay, that explains it, right? Except that doesn't explain anything. Because the second statement said, for reasons to be explained soon, the set needed new basic land illustrations. Now, why would that possibly be? The artwork on the land has absolutely nothing to do with the function of the card whatsoever. And he did say basic lands, not lands. So it's not like, oh, we're adding wastes, or we're adding a basic land that produces colorless. And even in that case, you could probably recycle the old lands. In fact, that is quite literally what Oath of the Gatewatch did. Now, if you're not familiar with how this works, I went and grabbed some cards and somewhat verified this. I actually didn't have the right cards to fully verify this, but I wanted to make the video anyway. If you look at a Swamp from Amonkhet, okay, the one I have in front of me right now, 261 out of 269, it says on the bottom. Now, ever since, I believe BFZ would have been the first one to do this, well, I should say OGW, technically, they've been recycling the artwork, but not even just the artwork, the card, the entire card. If you opened an Eldritch Moon pack, the basic land had the set symbol for Shadows over Innistrad. It said SOI in the bottom left. It was the Shadows card. And I'm thinking, well, how much could it possibly cost to have 15 more artworks made? Well, probably, what, like $1 to $3 grand a piece, I think is the number that people toss around. So let's just say $2 grand a piece times 15, that's 30 grand. I mean, that's not a small amount compared to the 50 million that the set usually rakes in. Okay. But I get it, and overall, I actually think it's a positive thing. I mean, one, it saves money. And obviously, if you look at the paper quality and the ink quality lately, yeah, they've been trying to save money, to put it softly. But basically, the new version was you don't need a number in the next sets for the basic lands because although basic lands do have a number in the set, in the second set, they're recycled. So, or not recycle. Recycle makes it sound like they just put the artwork on it and corrected it, like put the actual correct set symbol on it. They did not. They verbatim printed, well, will print Amonkhet lands in Hour of Devastation, except they won't. That's the weird thing. So 15 would be the exact correct number, and it's not more, so they're not bringing back waste. I mean, I think we can rule that out. So I'll read the question and the response again now that you got the background. Will next Monday's article solve the mystery of the extra 15 cards that have appeared on HOU's product description page? And Mark Rosewater answered, I believe those are just basic lands. For reasons to be explained soon, the set needed new basic land illustrations. I am completely at a loss for why that would be. I mean, they're basic lands. Print whatever the hell you want on it. What change would happen to the game, or what would they do to the design of the set that would make the requirement for the art like having to be changed? I can't come up with anything. I don't even have like a theory. I mean, other than the fact that they're doing like an Easter egg and they're like printing something in the very subtle background of the artwork and they thought it would be funny and they just wanted to do it in Hour of Devastation. Other than that, I mean, the full art lands, which were a 1 in 4 pull in the boosters, those basically are already Hour of Devastation lands. They're Nicol Bolas horns. I mean, arguably they could go in both. Now, theoretically, they are going to go in both, and I think the evidence is pretty strong, because if you look at, like, the full art planes, it's 250 out of 269 in AKH. Says right on the card. So 251, 252, 253, and 254 are the full art lands, and then I believe the remaining 15 are the regular art lands. So I mean, the obvious theory, I don't know if you could even call this a theory, it's just like an out, is that Hour of Devastation will be 100% full art lands. Considering they did a 1 in 4 in Amonkhet, why would Hour of Devastation have 100% full arts, which in itself would merit, you know, having to redraw them again? So that's the only logical conclusion I can make at all. I mean, what else does the evidence point to? But given that nobody really gave a crap after BFZ, because everybody was like, oh, full arts, hoard them, and then they never went up. I think they're still sitting at 19 cents a piece. It's just nobody cares. People overbought, people got all excited. Everybody and their grandma is sitting on 10 to 20,000 of these things, and they're just never going to go up significantly. It's impossible. I estimated the number that exists. It's not a pretty number, not friendly to investors. So I just don't see them logically doing that. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, unless they were like, oh, let's really sell the set. Let's make all the lands full art. Like, as if people are going to fall for that for, what, the 4th time? I think people are pretty much over full art lands, except for the foil ones. Those are pretty cool. But it was kind of cool pulling them as a 1 in 4. I think they've kind of hit it. I think they were correct in doing that, and I think that they think they're correct in doing that. So having to redraw the artwork because they still need 3 various artworks would explain it if they were full art, but I don't know. I mean, the only other thing that I can think of is they wanted the lands, all of them, all 15, to look different than a standard basic land for some reason. So maybe not full art, but, well, I wouldn't say all foil either, because you could still, you know, you could still go for the, what do you call it, the Amonkhet ones, just recycle them. So maybe they're going to do like, oh, I don't know. They wouldn't use the card frame from Masterpieces for basic lands. I mean, saying that, I feel like they would, but it just seems out there. I mean, Wizards would do anything at this point. I mean, everything they do, people are just shocked these days, so nothing would surprise me at this point. But those are the only 2 partial theories, and they're just based on what we've seen before. As far as a new theory about why the set, quote, needed, not we decided, we wanted to. We heard feedback from customers, and they said they didn't want Amonkhet basic lands in their Hour of Devastation, even though it helps you run all the same artwork because it's easier to get because you can open the same artwork twice. It didn't just say the decision was unpopular, we're undoing it, we're drawing them twice. It said needed. Now, he could mean that they needed new artwork because they decided to stop recycling the cards. So, I don't know, take that for what it's worth, I guess. But what do you guys think? Is there a more interesting option? Because I think with all the brand new novel ideas they've been coming up with lately, I mean, will they be printing basic lands that are upside down because it's like an Australian joke? Oh, I'm so sure they'll do that. Will it be borderless? They won't even be black bordered. They'll be full art, literally full art, like as if it was an altar. I mean, it could be something really wild and story and lore heavy where it's just like a flavor thing, like when totally forgot his name, Nicol Bolas. When Nicol Bolas comes back, he'll take over all the mana, and so all your lands will have to have like his stamp on it. So it'll be like what do you call it? The Amonkhet artwork, but with like his horn hieroglyphs like etched into them or something. Or it is possible that the basic lands will look like sandstone tablets or something. They'll make them look like old Egyptian stone tablets, and they'll all be like sandstone colored but have the symbol, which actually would really piss people off. So now I'm sure that's what they did. Inconsiderate, clueless things seems to be a theme lately with them. But, I mean, that would be kind of cool, except that the current invocation frames look like complete crap. I mean, I like being able to just look down, oh, look, the card is overwhelmingly blue, it must be an island, and not think past that, not having to enumerate, or I guess you could say denumerate, symbols into colors in your mind and then not make a mistake. Not to mention how easy it would be to mislead your opponent. So for them doing like some kind of weird color shift or something to the basic lands, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but it wouldn't be a good idea. So I am just going to be like rolling this around in my head until release day. I guess like the last thing to be spoiled is usually the actual basic lands themselves. They're very rarely first. Now, would they be first if they did something special to them? Almost definitely, because then they don't have to leak a card and it'll get a bunch of buzz and, you know, whatever. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I am, like, beyond interested in your conspiracy theories on this, so leave it down in the comment section if you have an idea why the new set, Hour of Devastation, would, quote, need new basic land illustrations. This is, like, weird, exciting, it's a mystery, I love it, and unfortunately, they aren't really marketing it as such. So maybe it's not a big thing. Maybe it's one of the really simple explanations I mentioned. I mean, who knows? It's certainly fun to think about in the meantime, though, so leave your wildest conspiracy theories down in the comment section or your grave concerns about what fresh hell we're in for with the basic lands. Keep in mind that no matter what they do to the artwork and the design of the card and the card frame and the text and everything, no matter what, you can just play with other basic lands. Hell, you can throw in Theros lands. I mean, it just is what it is. So hopefully you guys found this as interesting as I did. I know there's not much to it, but it's very interesting. One last thing, if I didn't mention this, because I had to record this twice because the reasons. The, quote, big announcement day, as they're calling it, or something like that, is going to be next week. They actually confirmed that. So it's June 8th right now, so sometime between the 12th and the 16th, they're going to have a huge announcement. Usually when they call it announcement day, that means that it'll have artwork from Ixalan, the name of the set after it, and possibly the name and a little tiny bit of artwork, maybe, of the next two sets after that. So I'm looking forward to that, because that's pretty cool. And if you think about how long ago they spoiled Hour of Devastation, just the name, yeah. We're kind of overdue for some information now about post-Ixalan. So that'll be kind of cool. Everybody's pretty damn certain it's Mayan so far, looks like it. So yeah, whatever. Different video, though. So hopefully you enjoy this mystery while it lasts. Otherwise, we'll probably have some information within about a week if we're lucky. So yeah, should be interesting. And I'll see you guys next video.